Welcome along to the Matchday Live preview. It is the final game, would you believe it, of this Premier League season. We are here on the very, very sunny South Coast for Liverpool's trip to face Southampton at St Mary's. As ever, bringing the show to you in association with Standard Chartered. I'm alongside Ray Houghton, who's slathered in sun cream for this one, I think. We've got a few talking points we are going to get through in the next 15 minutes. Maybe summer football should be one of them, because it is a glorious day down here. Perfect kind of day to sign off.
It's a perfect day for sunbathing, but not for football, I can assure you.
Good point.
It's far too hot for the players, but I'm sure in many respects, you know, they're looking forward to the game, they're looking forward to the end of the season. It hasn't been quite the season that they were anticipating after what happened last season, but there's been some good signs recently.
Well, here is what's coming up on the show. We are going to be looking at the positives that we can take from, as Ray says, a season that maybe at times has failed to live up to expectations. Not too much on the line here today, of course. So can the boss use this for planning ahead of the coming season? Will we maybe see some sentimental selections? I'm not sure. And, of course, Ray is going to give me his predictions for that starting lineup as well. But let's start with assessing the season, because, as we say, ultimately, maybe not the campaign that we were all expecting, but there are some positives to take, especially from the last 6 or 7 weeks, you'd probably say, last couple of months. Obviously, Trent, firstly, the evolution in his position, which has turned the form around. Curtis Jones's form as well has been a huge plus point for the boss to take. Cody Gakpo has really come to the fore, and his versatility has helped that attacking lineup so much, so that there are plus points.
I think there are. I really do. I think the last few matches, there's been much more of a confidence about the way that Liverpool are playing, with a lot more belief in the players. The ones that have come in, I start to realise what Liverpool's about and what the expectation is. And the expectation of the crowd at times. Sometimes you don't realise when you come to a football club. You know, you turn up and you think, oh yeah, I'm playing for one of the biggest teams in world football. And it's only when you hear the crowd you think, oh, I didn't realise it was quite like that. And it sinks in. And sometimes it takes players a little bit longer than others to get up to speed with that. But I'm glad to see that we're playing with a passion at the moment, a desire, determination. And I think the boys will want to finish it off with a good victory in the match against Southampton today.
We obviously know that 5th place will be the finishing position, regardless of what happens here or elsewhere in the Premier League today. It means Europa League football for next season. Again, to try and take the positives, firstly, the finals in Dublin, if we dare to look that far, which needs no selling, I'm sure, to Liverpool fans. And as well, it's one of the very few trophies Jurgen Klopp has not won with this club.
Well, let me tell you, I know for a fact that most of the hotel rooms and flights are already booked up. Honestly, I was speaking to some fans over in Ireland the other day, and they've all been saying the same thing.
You got yours?
They've already booked. Well, hopefully I won't need one. I'll be getting one from someone else, hopefully. So there'll be plans in place when it comes around. But look, there's a lot of matches to play when you get into the Europa League. I think from your first game to your last, there's something like 21 games or thereabouts you got to be involved in. So the manager will utilise his squad as best he can. It's a game or a tournament I will suggest they'll take very, very seriously. As you said, Becky, it's one of the ones and one of the few that Jurgen hasn't won. The other factor is, as well, you can utilise young players and give them their opportunity and see how they develop and see what they're like in an environment when they're not playing in the English game. You're playing against a foreign side, how they understand the opposition and how you open them up, break them down and ultimately win games. Liverpool are favourites. Liverpool are already favourites to win this trophy, and there's a reason for that, because when you look at the sides that are in it, Liverpool are the best team. So, as I say, the manager will attack it in the right way. I'm sure of that, because he's done that with just about every trophy that he's gone in for.
Absolutely, he has indeed. That is next season. Let's talk about this season. A player of the season. There's probably an outstanding candidate there.
There's one that's stood out for me all season. He's been absolutely first class. And it epitomised it last week when I was up at Anfield for the game against Aston Villa. Alisson, what a performance again. He's reading the situations, he comes out, he helps the defence whenever they've pushed maybe a little bit higher up the pitch, any ball over the top. He's the sweeper keeper. His shot stopping is absolutely immaculate. Now, I think he's in the top goalkeepers this season for making saves, which is not a great thing, because when you play for Liverpool, normally you're not called upon that often. But because of the way many times we defended as a team, and not just a back four, as a team hasn't been as good as previous seasons, he's had to make much more saves, and I think he's done an absolutely outstanding job of doing that. Absolutely first class. So he's been the one, the standout player from game one to last week. He's been absolutely, as good as you'll see, and long may that continue.
Yeah, just to back that up, what Ray has said with some stats, obviously he currently lies second in the Golden Glove charts alongside Nick Pope with 14 clean sheets. Obviously David De Gea has won that already with 16, but that is no mean feat in what's been a really tough campaign at times.
Oh, a very tough campaign, and when we're not being defended well, you're under enormous pressure, lots of balls coming into the box, you've got to make big saves at crucial times. Last week, when they had a penalty and they missed it, they put it wide of the post. He put the player off.
Yeah.
And then there was a 1v1 situation where he came out, stood up nice and tall, really good hand to keep the strike out, and that could have led to Liverpool being 2-0 down, and maybe the game was out of sight. So these are all key moments, but you get this from big keepers. There's times when you're not in the game at all as a keeper, but you make a vital save to win you the game or get you a point, and that's what Alisson's done this season. I can't speak highly enough about him. I just think he's a top-class professional. You watch him when he comes out to warm up. Everything is absolutely immaculate, to the detail. He must have so precise in his mind what he wants to do, and that's how he takes it into the games, and that's how his presence there with the rest of the side, he just oozes confidence. You can sense it.
Let's talk about today then, because we'll focus on the players in a minute. But for the manager, this is quite a unique situation. Not many games towards the end of the season as he presided over where there's not been an awful lot riding on it. What will be going through his head today?
I don't know. I mean, think of last season. Last game of the season, we're at home against Wolves. Manchester City are playing Aston Villa. We're ahead, they're behind. It looks like we might go and win the league, and then all of a sudden it flips, and Manchester City go on to win the game, and we lose out very narrowly from the league. We still had the Champions League final to look forward to. Whereas this time around, it might be a little bit flat in many respects because of there's no trophy at the end of it. But from his point of view, he's the ultra professional. He will go out there and he'll be, I think he's allowed back in the bench today, isn't he? I think he'll be back in the bench. I think he was sorely missed last week. I don't think he enjoyed being up in the stand watching, although he might have had a different perspective of how the game went. He loves it in there, doesn't he? He loves it in the technical area where he's trying to, get the players and influence what they're trying to do. He loves being on the pitch with them and assessing their warm-ups and looking at the opposition. I think he's just been superb. The time he's been in charge at the club, he's came in with a real focus, attention to detail. He knows what he wants from his players. They buy into what he's asking them to do, and that's why we've had so much success and so close on so many occasions.
Give us an insight into the players' mindset then, because as we say, it might be maybe that they never struggle for motivation, these Liverpool players, but last day of the season, playing a team that are already relegated as well, so Southampton probably can't wait for this season to end. How will they approach this, in the dressing room?
That's what I want to see them doing it professionally. This is their job. This is what they get paid to do. Listen, the away end, I've just came walking down the road. I've seen about 15 to 20 busloads of Liverpool fans are already here. Exactly. So that alone, all them fans come to support you in a game like, as you say, the end of the season is nothing on it. The fact that they've made the journey here, regardless by train, by car, by coach, whatever it may be, they're here to support their side. So the obligation's on the players to go and play for them. And I think they'll do that. They're a real good bunch. What I've seen of them, they've got a good focus about them. They're a tight-knit group. When they win, they win together. When they lose together. And I think today you're going to see a team that's going to go out and perform to their very, very best and make sure that they finish on a high by winning the last game of the season.
In terms of team selection then, we are going to get Ray's tips for his team very shortly, but in terms of how the boss plays it, is it an opportunity to look ahead to next season, maybe try out a few younger players, fringe players even? What would you do?
Well, I think one of the things you'll look at is to make sure everyone's fit and healthy. He wants to get players out there 100%, not 70, not 80, not 90. You want to get everyone out there fit for this particular match and finish on as a high, as I say. Now, I thought I heard he was going to try and play players who's going to be part of his plans for next season. He wants to have a look at some of maybe the younger ones as well to assess them and to see if they're going to be able to make that step up. Because I'm sure, as we speak, and over the last few weeks, he'll be evaluating, he'll be looking at the players he wants to bring in. We already know quite a few of the players that are going to be leaving the club, but it's the ones that are going to come in that the fans will be looking forward to. And if you're a player currently in this squad and the manager says you're in the team, that's your chance. That is your chance to go out there and showcase your talent. So every time he picks you, that's your opportunity. Get out there, get the Liverpool fans behind you, and if you do that, then it's up to you to go out and perform.
Well, maybe an opportunity for some to grasp today. You might think, what about sentimental reasons? Might that come into it? Might we see a start for the likes of James Milner, Bobby Firmino, of course, pulling on the shirt for the last time today?
Well, I know you're going to look at my team in a minute. I've actually gone for James Milner, and it's not through sentimental reasons. I've put him in at left back today. I just thought Andy Robinson having an injury. I think he had a bit of a groin strain.
Yeah.
Tsimikas, I thought he struggled a little bit last week when he came on. I don't know how fit he was, but James Milner has been the ultimate professional for a number of years. Whenever he's played, he's always done his level. And I don't think it would be sentimental to play him. I think he'd be playing him because he feels that he's the right person to play in the game. I thought Firmino came on last week and just sensational.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't realise. You know, you look up his stats, and I think he had scored 80 league goals before his 81st last week against Villa, but involved in 50 assists. And when you look at, he's only 31. I thought he was older than that. You know, I was wondering why he was leaving, and then I looked at his age, and he isn't quite as old as I anticipated he was. And he's still got that hunger, he's still got that drive, he's still got that belief in being a player. So, yeah, if the manager picked him as well, and I haven't picked him, but on reflection, I probably should have put him in, because he still give you everything he's got.
Oh, you wanted to change your team?
Try to second guess Jurgen's the hardest job in football. It is the hardest, because he's always open.
Today,
anything could happen. Of course, you know that. You've seen what's happened in the past, but I don't think he's a sentimental guy, to be honest, Jurgen. He's a winner. He wants to win, and he'll put out the team he thinks will get the 3 points for Liverpool.
Undoubtedly. We're talking of teams. Talk us through who you've chosen then. Your starting 11.
I've gone for Alisson in goal, but I'm hearing stories that Keller might be in, so I'm a bit like that at the moment. Alisson's just been outstanding all season, so I think it'd be right for him to finish it. I can understand with Queven what's going on. He's not played as many games as he would like. There's a lot of speculation what's going on. We'll see what materialises over the next few weeks. I've gone for Trent and right back, centre midfield, whatever position he takes up. He's been sensational in there though, isn't he? You know what? I love when he comes into that midfield area, purely because he's got that vision and awareness to get on the ball and make passes. He's absolutely wonderful at it. I'd pay money to go and watch him. I would. And there's not many I would. I've got to be honest with you. I'd go and pay to go and watch him. So I've gone with Trent. I think Konaté's got an injury, isn't he, or an illness, so I think he might be out. So I've gone for Matip at centre back with Virgil, James Milner at left back. I've kept the rest of it nearly the same, apart from I've left Luis Diaz out and I've brought Jota on the left hand side. So Jota, Cody up front. Mo on the right hand side. Mo's looking for his 20th league goal of the season. He's got 19.
Premier League,
so I'm sure he'd like to do that today. He was unlucky a couple of times against Aston Villa where he looked like he was going to do it and it didn't quite come off for him. But yeah, I just think, you know, manager might look at one or two youngsters. That might be the case. But I think the importance today is win and finish on a high.
OK, that is Ray's prediction. We'll see how you get on when we bring you the team news in Matchday Live shortly. But now let's wrap it up with my favourite part of the social show. It is the quiz. 12 questions. These are all, it's kind of an amalgamation of the season gone by. So
lovely.
You confident?
No.
Let's see if we can get through it. No, I think some of these are quite hard. Right, let's go. Who scored Liverpool's first goal of the season in the Community Shield against Manchester City?
I think that was Trent.
It was, correct. Yeah. In what minute did Fabio Carvalho score the winner against Newcastle in our 2-1 win at Anfield?
It was late. I know it was really late. 95?
It was 98. Nearly, good guess. Who got the first and last goal in the 9-0 win over Bournemouth?
Luis Diaz, I remember that.
It was Luis Diaz. How long did it take Mo Salah to score his hat-trick against Rangers at
it was
Ibrox?
in no time, wasn't it? It was absolutely fantastic. I think it was 5 minutes, I think, around about that.
Final answer?
5 minutes.
It's the right answer, 5 minutes. Who scored his first Champions League goal in that game as well?
I remember that, Harvey Elliott, little Harvey scored.
Yeah. Who scored the 2 goals in Liverpool's 2-0 win over Napoli?
No, I can't remember. Did Mo get one?
He did.
No. Did I get half a point for that?
No.
No, OK, then I don't remember.
And Darwin Núñez.
All right.
In the 7-0 demolition of Manchester United, who were the 3 players to score braces?
It was the 3 frontmen that day. Was it Darwin, Cody and Mo?
It
got 2 each.
was. Oh, he's on
Yeah.
fire here, isn't
Yeah.
he? Right, who got the final goal that night as well? Do you remember that?
Of course we do. We couldn't forget that one, Bobby Firmino.
Oh, my goodness. We drew 0-0 with Chelsea in April. How many 0-0s at the end of full time have we had in a row against Chelsea?
Do you know what? Because we played them in the cup, we drew a 0-0 a couple of times with them, and I think the league as well. So I think I thought it was 4. That was my first
He's
thought.
right.
Is it?
I know you know the answer to this one as well. From Mo Salah's 30 goals this season, how many were in the Premier League?
19.
It is 19. How many goals has Bobby Firmino scored for Liverpool in total?
Oh, I knew it was 81. He'd scored league goals, but you're talking about overall. I'm going to add on another 28. Oh no, 109.
110? Oh, God! He's hit the bar. Right, final one. From the current squad, which 2 players, you'll get this, have played for today's opponents, Southampton?
For Liverpool, Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah.
And... Oh, going for the team.
Started his career at Southampton. I shouldn't be helping you,
Yeah,
but
you
I
started
am.
his career at Southampton. Oh, Virgil and... Yeah, go on.
I'm gonna call time. Ox.
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 Of
Right.
course.
My goodness. Right, it was a great quiz. I don't know how many you got, but I think you did pretty well.
It was
there.
all right. It was okay.
Right, that is it from us for now for the preview, but just time to point you in the direction of where you can get all of the post-match reaction to Liverpool against Southampton later on this evening. At 8:30 p.m, free highlights are over on LFC TV Go at midnight on Go and TV. We've got the full match replay, and then tomorrow we'll have Inside Southampton for you on our Facebook and on our YouTube channels as well. Then, as for this evening, we have the build-up to Southampton against Liverpool on LFC TV and LFC TV Go. You can catch it on as well from 3:30. I've got the latest team news. Steve Hothersall is in the studio with Gary Gillespie and Phil Babb for this one. Then at 4:30, Phil Thompson is alongside Steve Hunter for live audio commentary. Then at 6:30, the 2 Phils will be on hand for the Matchday reaction show. Do join us for all that if you can. I think Ray and I are going to try and soak up a bit of sunshine now ahead of kick-off. We'll be bringing you that team news in Matchday Live. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.